Hi, Neil here at Mansfield Financial Planning. Now, given everything that's happened over the last few days, with the government announcing stimulus packages, as well as obviously enforcing closures of various establishments, I wanted to give you a quick update today on the proposals around superannuation as well as social security payments that have been talked about by the government. I want to stress these are proposals at this stage, but the expectation is that they will be passed through Parliament this week and then be rolled out over the next few months. So firstly, I want to talk about accessing superannuation. Now, you've probably heard that the government is proposing that those people affected by the coronavirus may be eligible to take out $10,000 from their super fund this financial year and a further $10,000 next financial year after 1 July. Now, the guidance around this at the moment is pretty broad, but at the moment they're suggesting that this is available or will be available to anyone who's currently unemployed, anyone who's been made redundant from 1 January this year, anyone who's in receipt of Centrelink benefits, or those who've seen their hours reduced by more than 20%, or in case of sole traders whose income or turnover has reduced by 20% or more as a result of the coronavirus. So this could potentially be applicable to a lot of people. So I wanted to highlight some of the things you need to be aware of or consider before thinking about taking that money out of super. Firstly, markets are significantly down relative to earlier this year. So taking money out now potentially locks in an investment loss that can't be recovered. You're also missing out on any future potential investment gains on that money. And those gains would otherwise be concessionally taxed within superannuation. Thirdly, of course, there are restrictions about how much money you can put into super each year. So we should always be aiming to preserve your superannuation capital as much as possible to provide for your retirement. So if you are considering taking advantage of this, please do seek some financial advice to make sure this is the best option for you and most appropriate method of getting through these difficult months. Secondly, they're introducing some changes to the superannuation income stream drawdown rates. What do I mean by that? Well, basically, as soon as you're a retiree and you're drawing an income from your pension, you need to draw a minimum amount. When you're 65, that amount is set at 5%. So the proposal is to halve those rates. So a 65 to 74-year-old will have to draw, or normal rate is 5%, that will drop to 2.5%. And I've got a table here that shows you the various rates for different ages. So that's good news for those retirees who can afford to draw a little bit less income, so that they've got enough income to meet their needs, and therefore they can allow more of their money to stay invested within the superannuation environment and recover from the current market conditions that we're experiencing at the moment. And the proposal is for this to apply not only this financial year, but also going into next financial year as well. Okay, so let's talk about social security payments. The first payment the government has proposed is a $750 payment to all those who are in receipt of Centrelink income support payments as at the 12th of March 2020. Now, that payment will be paid following the end of this month. Now, secondly, they've introduced a coronavirus supplement, which applies to the New Start or Job Seeker allowance, as well as some other payments, but not the age pension. Okay, so that will entitle those people who are eligible to an additional $550 a fortnight, which is due to commence on the 27th of April and will run for a period of a proposed period of 6 months. Age pension recipients will receive an additional payment of $750 to be paid on the 13th of July. Now, lastly, I want to talk about deeming rates. Now, the deeming rates are currently set at 1% and 3%. They are being lowered by 0.75%. So we're seeing the lower rate drop down to 0.25% and the higher rate down to 2.25%. And this will help those age pension recipients who are income tested, so their age pension is reduced as a result of the income test. They may see an increase in their fortnightly payments going forward. Now, of course, besides the measures I've just spoken about, there are a raft of other incentives to help individuals as well as businesses and organisations get through the next few months. No doubt we're in tough times. It's going to be hard for a lot of people, for a lot of businesses. So the government is trying to do its best, whether you agree with it or not. They are obviously trying to support people and businesses in the best way they can. So, we need to stick together. We need to get through this together. We need to all be doing the right things in terms of avoiding the spread. From our point of view at Mansfield Financial Planning, we are open for business as normal, or largely as normal. We're doing all our client meetings via online facilities or over the phone. So if you are concerned or would like to discuss your financial situation in more detail, or would like to know more about some of these measures being introduced, feel free to give me a call directly on 8513-0290, or you can send me an email or private message me, contact me in some way, and I will try and get back to you as soon as I can. In the meantime, stay safe, look after each other, and we will get through this together.